Sex and gender are not the same thing. What's between my legs is not the same as what's in my brain, and whether or not I have a penis has nothing to do with whether or not I'm a boy. I get into this whole complicated thing of being like, yeah, I'm a boy without a penis, and then it just makes everybody way, way confused, and they're like, how do you exist? And I'm like, microdicks, disorder, also eunuchs used to exist, although neither of those things are what I am. Being trans means that whatever you were assigned at birth in terms of gender and sex is not the way you feel about yourself now. So you've looked inside yourself and realized that that's not you. And chosen to identify yourself with either the opposite gender or as intersex, genderqueer, third gender, etc. And that's not a choice. It's just the way we are. The way we choose to express it is a choice. And I should clarify, I consider myself a female to male transsexual. And I call myself a boy. And I expect you to call me he, Mr., sir, yada yada yada. But I'm genderqueer. I'm gender fluid. I believe that there are as many different genders as there are people out there, and I don't want to think that, there's anything wrong with expressing myself femininely. I feel that I need to transition so I have a male body, but if my personality is sometimes effeminate, if every now and then I'm like, hey, I feel like wearing a dress. I haven't felt like wearing a dress in a really, really long time, but I don't see any reason why I shouldn't. And so I prefer to identify my gender in a way that doesn't limit me. And sure, there are plenty of guys who call themselves guys who don't let themselves be limited, and there are plenty who do let themselves be limited. So again, it's a choice. It's a matter of how we choose to express ourselves. And there's nothing wrong exactly with people who allow themselves to be limited unless they want to express themselves in a way that society and their gender identity isn't permitting. And in that case, it kind of sucks. I mean, Kate Bornstein suggests that transgender really in some ways applies to everyone. They're everyone who transgresses against gender, everyone who crosses the line in some way. The little baby boy dressed in pink, or, we all cross that line at some point, don't we? We play with the wrong toys, whatever. So maybe we are all transgender. Transsexual being different in that you actually want to change your physical body to a different sex. And often people are both. So if someone is a female to male transsexual, you classify them but by what they are at the end in terms of pronouns, in terms of sexuality, in terms of all of that. So they are he, and if they like boys, they're gay. If they like girls, they're straight, or however they prefer to be referred to. And male to female, you say she. And I don't understand why that keeps being an issue, except maybe that I live in the South. But it's like people are like, oh, I understand, you're a boy. They'll refer to me as a boy, as male, or something, and then still say she. And I'm like, were you listening? I don't know. And I mean, yeah, that's one thing with people who've known me like my whole life. I understand it's kind of hard to get used to that. With people who've just met me, I guess I just feel the need to clarify that I guess it's relatively obvious, but even though I consider myself trans, when I was first figuring myself out, getting into this whole thing, I had a couple of trans friends that I was confused as to how to refer to as well, and did need to ask questions. And there's nothing wrong with asking questions, which I should clarify because I'm all like acting insulted that people don't know what a trans guy is or whatever. Like, I would much rather you ask than futz around in the dark and really not be sure, because it's much better to ask. But if you ask, please listen. Because when people ask and then they don't listen to your answer and they're still saying the wrong things, it's hard and it hurts. And for a lot of us, we're too embarrassed to correct you at first, or else it makes us angry, which, yeah, that's awkward too. You know, when they're all like, you got my pronoun wrong. But like, usually it's just kind of embarrassing and depressing and makes me want to hide in a corner, and I'm like, yeah, you called me ma'am and I'm not a ma'am, but I'm not sure I'm allowed to correct you. Which gets into the whole pride versus shame thing. And we should be proud of ourselves. No matter what you are, be proud of yourself.